Oh my goodness, absolutely shocking, wasn't it? Who would have thought? The Tennessee Titans, coming into this match with such promise, fell short against the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders 20, Titans 10. I mean, Tony Pollard was expected to dominate, right? But he barely made a dent with only 10 rush attempts. Insane. What's going on with their defense and offense? They conceded 6 sacks for crying out loud. Cameron Ward just couldn't get a break, and Maxx Crosby, huge difference maker. But it wasn't all bad for the Raiders, was it? Geno Smith came through when it mattered, finding Trey Tucker and Michael Mayer. What do you guys think about this? Are the Raiders turning a corner, or was it just the Titans having an off day? Make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the drama. Right, so let's really dive into what made the Raiders' defense tick during this clash. We have to talk about Maxx Crosby. This guy was just everywhere. With his 2 massive sacks and serious tackles for loss, Crosby was an absolute maestro at disrupting whatever the Titans tried to build. I mean, how do you even get past a player like that? His technique was something else, dancing around the Titans' offensive line like he was in a league of his own. But it wasn't just Crosby. This was a masterclass in coordinated defense. The Raiders managed to constantly breach the Titans' protection schemes, and it looks like they shared that playbook amongst themselves pretty well. Take a moment to imagine the pressure quarterback Cam Ward was under, tirelessly avoiding Crosby and his fellow defenders, who collectively choreographed a 6-sack strategy. You see, in football, it's not just about one star player shining, it's about how their individual brilliance lifts the whole unit's performance. Crosby exemplified that, firing up the Raiders' defensive prowess, and his energy seemed contagious to the entire squad. So, there's no denying the radiating energy from Maxx Crosby lifted the Raiders. But here's the thing, when you flip the coin, the Titans' offense just couldn't find their footing, right? I think we all expected Tennessee's offensive machine to roar into action, especially considering how solid they've looked earlier on, and man, against most defenses, their rushing game is a real threat. But honestly, the Raiders put a stop to that plan pretty quickly. Look, Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears, usually dynamic forces on the field, were effectively neutralized, totaling only 32 yards rushing combined. It's like the Raiders knew every move before it happened, with their defensive tackles and linebackers slamming shut every gap before the Titans could make any headway. It's crazy just how much pressure was handed right to Cameron Ward as well. 6 sacks. That's not just a poor showing by the Titans' offensive line. It's a showcase of the Raiders' defensive execution, outsmarting, outmuscling, and outmaneuvering their opponents. Now, the lack of response and adjustment from the Titans' side, that's the kicker. It seems when their run game was blocked, the alternative strategies just didn't materialize. And the Raiders, seeing this, pressed on without letting up. Changing plans, mixing up the playbook, maybe that would have salvaged some momentum or at least opened up some options amid the chaos. Instead, we saw an offense that couldn't break free from the Raiders' clutches, a setup that wasn't ready to counter the stunning defensive display they faced. Let's dive right into those pivotal moments from yesterday's clash that really put the wind in the Raiders' sails and spelled doom for the Titans. Right from the first quarter, Daniel Carlson stepped up and banged in that beautiful 50-yard field goal. I mean, it's those kind of moves that just set the tone. Talk about setting the scene for momentum, right? And then, just before halftime, that magic moment where Geno Smith connected with Michael Mayer for a touchdown. This wasn't just about numbers on the board, it was a statement, putting even more heat on the Titans when they were looking pretty shaky already. But the Titans did try to claw back in the second half. Matthew Wright got that field goal in the third quarter, and then there was David Martin Robinson's late touchdown. Sadly, though, those efforts only showcased how resilient the Raiders' defense was, as every inch was hard fought. Ashton Genty's flashy rushing touchdown was the exclamation point, showing the Raiders' offensive creativity, exploiting cracks in the Titans' armor with ease. In the end, the calculated field goals paired with decisive touchdowns highlighted an assertive Raiders performance, cleverly capitalizing on every Titan stumble. So, as we shift gears, let's talk about how the Las Vegas Raiders can ride this wave moving forward. Their performance wasn't just a one-off, it was a showcase of tactical brilliance. Offensively, Geno Smith was the orchestrator, guiding the team with precision, while the likes of Michael Mayer and Ashton Genty ran routes like pros. And then you've got Maxx Crosby. He's not just a wall, he's a fortress out there. His constant pressure on Cameron Ward was a game-changer, a linchpin in the Raiders' plan. But now we turn to the Titans. Injuries, inconsistency. They've got some puzzle pieces to sort out. Their defense showed flashes of resistance, but the offense, it felt like they were trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces didn't quite fit. If they want to bounce back, solidifying that O-line must be priority number 1. So here's the thing, what do you guys make of this? Do the Raiders have the spark to light up the league? And what about the Titans? How can they adapt? Let me know your thoughts, and hey, drop your comments on what lies ahead for these teams. Let's dive into this together.